Hello, this is SP2000, Oral Communication, Learning Activity for Persuasive Speech. 50 years ago, when people with significant disabilities began leaving the institutions, it was a transition based on the belief that people could better be served in communities. It was a decade of discovery and innovation to provide supports and services that would maintain the health and safety of individuals with developmental, psychiatric, and physical disabilities. Each community developed systems for residential services, vocational services, and various treatments and therapies to maintain individuals with disabilities. The institution was the model, and many communities used strategies of segregation, guardianships, and subordination, only replicating the institution in miniature. The Civil Rights of Institutionalized Persons Act, CRIPA, authorizes the U.S. Attorney General to investigate conditions of confinement at state and local and governmental institutional levels for people with psychiatric or developmental disabilities. Out of the institution and into the community, individuals with disabilities would define themselves as capable and worthy of a full productive life. The consumer movement began. The 70s and 80s brought legislation and policies that gave the individual served a say in their service plan. Disability advocates hoped that consumer control in supports and services would be the foundation for equalizing outcome in education and employment, fostering personal control in active, fulfilling lives for individuals with disabilities. Most communities responded with a blanket of nonprofit organizations providing services in a medical model, leaving experts controlling the lives of individuals with disabilities, or a charity model providing services to the less fortunate, less able, less equal population. Yet after 50 years, after all the time, talent, and money, people with disabilities are still locked in poverty and dependence. We need a system transformation that will continue to expand the revolution that began in 1963, located at www.acl.gov, History of the DD Act, and DD stands for Developmental Disability Act. Two issues emerge that may be amendable to local modification. One area of concern is the lack of consumer control in delivering daily living supports to individuals who use critical personal care services. A second issue is employment services that segregate individuals with significant disabilities in jobs that pay workers below minimum wage and keep them benefit dependent. These are complex relationships between workers and provider agencies, person served and person providing essential care to individuals with disabilities, and the funding agencies along with Medicaid. Changes to the FLSA will undoubtedly impact the workforce, which is the Fair Labor Standards Act, located at www.dol.gov, which is the Department of Labor. It is important to design changes in the system based on the value of consumer choice and control. Some programs that provide job training and or rehabilitation skills services are paid by CMH and MRS, which CMH is Community Mental Health and MRS is Michigan Rehabilitation Services. These programs help segregate and warehouse people. It may be referred to as work or skill development, and the individual is employed at some minimum or piecework, year after year, sometimes for decades. The provider agency camouflaged as a nonprofit says, Frank comes into work with a smile every day. He just loves to come to work. That is true. People with disabilities want to work, want the pride of work and the society of work. What isn't true is we want to be poor or to be a poster child for charity. We have come to the conclusion that we should be doing better. We deserve more respect as equal members of our community. In closing, it is time to rethink the way people with significant disabilities engage in work and benefit from work. Working together, we may build a community that acknowledges diverse abilities, expecting opportunity, access, and inclusion to education, employment, and independent living for all. Thank you very much. This is the end of the presentation. Will there be any questions?
No.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.